The storm had taken everything, his boat, his supplies, even his hope. Mark Thompson washed up on the deserted white sand beach, coughing seawater, his body aching. 42, single dad, still grieving his wife, he thought this solo sailing trip would heal him. Instead, it dropped him straight into hell, or maybe heaven. When he opened his eyes, he saw them. 15 women. All of them heavily pregnant. Bellies round and tight, standing in a tight circle under a torn sail, staring at him like he was either their savior, or their worst nightmare. A tall woman stepped forward, her voice sharp with fear. "Don't come any closer." "Who the hell are you?" "Mark," he rasped. "Just a single dad from Texas. Lost everything in the storm." The women exchanged nervous glances. One of them was already in early labor. Mark slowly stood up, hands raised. "Look, I don't know what's going on here, but you're all about to have babies on this island with no doctor, no hospital, and no way out." He looked at their frightened faces and felt that old familiar pull in his chest, the same one he felt every time his daughter Emily needed him. What he didn't know yet was that these 15 pregnancies were no accident, and this island was hiding a dark, dangerous secret. Mark Thompson wiped salt water from his eyes and stared at the endless stretch of white sand. His head pounded like a drum. 42 years old, single dad from Austin, Texas, he had only wanted one quiet week on a rented sailboat to clear his head. 5 years after losing his wife to cancer, raising 10-year-old Emily alone while teaching high school history had worn him down. Now the boat was gone, the storm had swallowed everything, and he was alive on some forgotten island in the Gulf of Mexico. He sat up slowly. Voices drifted on the warm breeze, women's voices. 15 of them. Every single one visibly pregnant, bellies round and heavy under torn designer tops and shorts. They huddled beneath a tarp made from yacht sails and palm fronds. When they saw him, fear flashed across their faces. A tall woman with short dark hair stepped forward, hands protectively over her belly. "Stop right there. Who are you?" "Mark Thompson," he said, palms up. "Sailing solo. Storm hit Tuesday night." "You?" They told him their story in pieces. They had been on a luxury, mothers-to-be retreat, aboard the yacht Serenity. All 15 had conceived through the same upscale fertility clinic in Miami. Some were first-time moms, some surrogates, 2 were single by choice. No husbands or partners had come on the trip, it was meant to be a women-only bonding week. The yacht went down in the same storm that sank Mark's boat. The crew had been swept away, the women had washed up here 3 days earlier. Their names came slowly: Sarah, the leader, a corporate lawyer from Chicago; Rachel, a teacher from Orlando; Lisa, a quiet graphic designer from Atlanta; and the rest: Maria, Priya, Emily, no relation to his daughter, Sophia, and so on. All due within the same 7-day window. At first Mark thought it was coincidence. Later he would learn it was not. He spent the first day proving he was no threat. He built a better shelter using driftwood and vines. He fashioned a spear from a broken oar and caught 3 fat fish before sunset. The women watched him warily, but hunger won. That night they shared the fish around a small driftwood fire. Mark kept thinking of Emily back in Austin with his sister. "I have to get home to her." Days blurred. The island was small, maybe 2 miles across, thick jungle on one side, rocky cliffs on the other. Fresh water trickled from a spring they found on day 4. Coconuts, wild bananas, and fish kept them alive. Mark taught them how to weave palm mats for bedding and how to spot rip currents if anyone dared swim. He never pushed himself forward, but the women began calling him the dad with tired smiles. Suspense crept in quietly. On the 6th night, Lisa pulled Mark aside while the others slept. Her belly was so large she walked with a waddle. "Something's wrong," she whispered. "Before the storm, I saw a man on the Serenity who wasn't part of the crew. He was in the medical cabin with the doctor. They stopped talking when they saw me. She paused. And all of us, our due dates are identical. The clinic called it synchronized cycles. I thought it was just good planning. Now I'm not sure. Mark felt the first real chill since landing. He had noticed it too. 15 women, 15 pregnancies at almost the exact same stage. Too perfect. The next morning Rachel went into labor. It started with a sharp cry at dawn. Panic rippled through the group. No doctor, no hospital, just sand and palm trees. Mark had helped his wife through Emily's birth. He knew the basics. He boiled seawater in a metal flask they had salvaged, washed his hands with sand and salt water, and talked Rachel through every contraction. Breathe with me. You're not alone. After 4 hours a healthy baby boy entered the world screaming. Rachel named him Noah. The women wept. Mark cut the cord with a sharpened shell and felt something shift inside him. For the first time since his wife died, he felt useful again, not just a single dad surviving, but a man needed by more than his own child. 3 more labors followed in the next 48 hours. Mark delivered every one, 2 girls, another boy. The beach became a nursery. Makeshift cradles from life jackets and soft palm fiber. The new mothers looked at him with exhausted gratitude. Sarah told him quietly one evening, "You didn't have to stay and help." Most men would have looked for a way off this island alone. "I'm a single dad," Mark answered. "I know what it feels like when the world expects you to do it all by yourself. Nobody should have to." But the mystery refused to stay buried. On day 10 they found the old research station. Hidden behind thick vines halfway up the island's only hill, the concrete building had been abandoned for years. Inside were rusted filing cabinets, broken monitors, and faded labels: Project Harmony, Fertility Synchronization Trial, Confidential. The dates matched the clinic the women had used. One file, half-burned, listed all 15 names. The drug they had taken wasn't just for fertility, it was experimental, designed to make pregnancies occur at the exact same time for efficient monitoring. Side effects were listed in small print: heightened maternal instincts, possible behavioral changes under stress. The clinic had never told them they were test subjects. Sarah's hands shook as she read. They knew the storm was coming. They routed us through this area on purpose. This wasn't an accident. Lisa's voice was flat. The man I saw, he was probably their observer. They wanted real-world data on how we'd survive together. Paranoia settled over the camp like fog. One woman began sleeping with a sharpened stick by her side. Another cried that the island itself was watching them. Mark kept everyone busy, building a giant SOS signal on the beach with rocks and palm fronds painted with charcoal, fishing extra, telling stories at night to keep spirits up. He told them about Emily, about his wife's last smile, about how fatherhood had taught him that love was stronger than fear. The women shared their own hopes for their babies. The bond grew tighter. On the 14th night the storm returned. Winds howled. Waves slammed the beach. The new mothers clutched their infants inside the reinforced shelter while Mark and the stronger women tied everything down. Lightning lit the sky. In the flashes Mark thought he saw a small boat hugging the coast, lights off, watching. He shouted and waved, but the boat slipped away into the darkness. The next morning they woke to the sound of rotors. A Coast Guard helicopter thundered overhead. The pilot later told them a fisherman had spotted their giant SOS from 10 miles out and called it in. Rescue boats arrived within the hour. The women were lifted out one by one, babies wrapped in clean blankets. Mark was the last to leave the sand. Back in Miami, the story made quiet headlines: Miracle Island births, 15 mothers, 1 stranded father. The fertility clinic was investigated. The experimental drug was pulled. No one could prove the storm had been used deliberately, but the lawsuits would drag on for years. Mark flew home to Austin 2 days later. Emily ran into his arms at the airport, crying, "Daddy, you smell like the ocean." That night he sat on the porch with his daughter on his lap and told her the story, not the scary parts, just the parts about courage and helping others. He left out the files and the watching boat. Some secrets, he decided, were for grown-ups. 6 months later a package arrived. Inside were 15 handwritten letters and 15 tiny photographs, each baby born on that beach, now chubby and smiling. Sarah had written on behalf of all of them. "You weren't just a single dad on that island, Mark. You were our dad too. We named the group chat the Beach 15. Come visit anytime. The babies already know your voice from the stories we tell them." Mark smiled, folded the letter, and placed it in the box where he kept Emily's baby shoes and his wife's wedding ring. He had gone looking for peace and found something bigger, a reminder that one man, even a tired single dad, could stand in the middle of chaos and choose to protect, to deliver life, to hope. The island was gone from the maps again, swallowed by the Gulf. But the memory stayed with all 16 of them forever.